everyone, welcome. We're very excited to have you join us for today's webinar. Hello, hello. For those who are coming in, it's very nice to see you again. And whether you're tuning in from across the city or from another side of the world, it's wonderful to have you here. In today's webinar, we'll cover Herzing University's most popular programs, an overview of tuition fees and study costs, what makes this program stand out among students, and the career pathways they can lead to. So helping you understand how to choose a program that aligns with both your academic interests and long-term professional goals. So for our partners who are here, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you here. So before we start, my name is Kyla and I'm the content specialist for InUnique Global. And I am very excited to introduce our two distinguished speakers for today. So our very first one will be Nisa Neal, who currently serves as the Director of International Admissions and Operations at Herzing University. In this role, she leads strategic initiatives to support international student enrollments and oversees operational process to enhance student experience. It's very amazing to see you again today, Anissa. How are you doing?
Hey, Kyla, I'm great. Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Thank you also as well. We're also pleased to welcome Hannah Moran, Business Development Manager at InUni for Middle East and North America. She brings over 4 years of experience in higher education, starting with USAID, supporting US-funded scholarship students, before moving into counseling and leading international outreach across Egypt and the Gulf. Today, she continues to support students in navigating international student opportunities. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. How are you today, Hannah?
I'm good, Kyla. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for asking. Well,
Thanks,
thank
and
you
thanks for
also.
having us.
Yeah,
Thanks for the introduction.
it's great to see you. So thank you all so much for being here again. Before we begin, a quick note to everyone. I would like to remind you that this session is being recorded and a link to the recording will be shared with you shortly after this session. We will also have a live Q&A session at the end of this webinar. So you can simply just submit your questions using the Q&A box just down below your screen. We'll be glad to address as many questions as possible. All right, so let's get to the main reason why you're here today. I'm very sure many of you are eager to learn more about Herzing University and why it could be the right choice for you. To give us a deeper look, let me now call on Anissa.
Thank you. And good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone, wherever you may be. I'm currently located in Georgia in the United States, nearabouts to Atlanta. So it is a good morning here for me. And I'm here to tell you guys today just a little about Herzing University. And as Kyla mentioned, share some information about some of our most popular programs and some information about the university itself. Um, so a little about Herzing in general. Herzing University is a private nonprofit university located in the United States. We were originally started in 1965 by the Herzing family. And the Herzing family, while we are a nonprofit today and we're ran by a board of directors, does not still they still have an active role in the university and the operation of the university today. And so currently our president is Renee Herzing, who is the daughter of the founders of the university. And so while we are a much larger university than we were when we originally started, we do still really pride ourselves on the small, close-knit family style of environment, even though we have over 10,000 students enrolled across the United States. We do also pride ourselves on a career-focused curriculum that really drives home hands-on concepts for students that they can take from the classroom into the workplace. And we try to be as innovative as possible in the ways we deliver our programs and also provide a supportive environment for all of our students. Regarding international admissions, we do make very quick admissions decisions. So typically, as long as a student has submitted their full application package, we usually make admissions decisions within about 48 hours. And then after that admissions decision, an I-20 and acceptance letter does usually follow very quickly within about 24 hours. We do not require any upfront deposits for international students. And so we wouldn't request students submit any deposits until their visa is approved, which is great for students. So in the event that their visa isn't approved, there's not the money going back and forth, which is, sometimes a record-keeping nightmare. And so that's something important to know. We also do not require a GRE, a GMAT, or an SAT. So there's no really long standardized tests required for admission into our programs. We have admissions requirements that are set outside of those types of exams. And we also maintain a student to faculty ratio of around 14 students to one instructor. And we provide 3 intakes every year, January, May, and September. We are currently enrolling primarily for the September start, which is our fall semester. But we are also enrolling some students for the May intake if they live in a region where a visa interview could be possible. And then lastly, while Herzing does have 13 campuses across the United States, we do enroll all of our international students at our campus that's located in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is a really great place for international students. It's a good climate. While we do experience all 4 seasons here, it is a very nice climate in the United States. It's going to be really nice and warm today here in February, and Atlanta is a really vibrant place for international students for lots of reasons: sports teams, jobs, internship opportunities, all of those things. So why Herzing, right? Herzing offers various different programs that international students can come into. We have international students from all different continents in the United States, so we have a very diverse student population. But as far as our programs and the type of education that you'll receive at Herzing, we pride ourselves in our accelerated programs, allowing students to enroll for 3 semesters every year if they wish, which allows for year-round academic enrollment, and can allow a student to finish a bachelor's degree in as little as 3 years if they do decide to take that full year-round enrollment. And I'll say about half of our students do select that option, which is nice. It lets students graduate earlier than they would have anticipated had they attended a regular 2-semester-a-year type of university. We also have different pathways within our enrollment here. So, for example, a student who is studying in our Bachelor of Science in Business Management has the option to take dual enrollment or dual credit courses. To be able to take classes that are part of our master's degree. Up to 4 classes can actually be taken. And so it gives that student a pathway into the master's degree where they will have already finished a full semester of study. It saves the student time and also money. It actually saves the student about $10,000 US taking that path. And we have those options available as well for our IT program and our cybersecurity program so that students can go to the next level on the master's degree and be able to take some of those graduate courses on the undergraduate level and have those courses count for both levels of study. As I mentioned a little earlier, we do offer a practical, real-world approach to learning, and so lots of hands-on training in our classes to help students easily transition from the classroom into the workplace. So many of you are from areas of the world where your primary method of learning is just lecture. You listen, you lecture, you take a test, and that's it, or take your final exams, and that's it. And at Herzing, we do a lot of practical types of modules within all of our education so that students can learn what it would be like to actually apply these concepts when they get into the workplace. And then obviously support, I think, is one of the things that is the most popular about Herzing University. We have a robust group of resources for all of our students, including our international students. That includes academic advisors and international student advisors to help make sure students are on the right pathway to whatever their end goal is. So if it's, something in IT or something in business, if they're looking for an internship, they want to take OPT. If they're a STEM student and they're going to have the opportunity for STEM OPT, we have all the right people in the right places to help students through that process so they're not here to do it on their own. All right, so we are going to jump in a little into our cybersecurity program. Our Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity is one of the most popular programs that we offer at Herzing University, particularly for international students. And I'll say this program was just recently rewritten, and it's very current right now. And so we do a lot to try to make sure that all of our curriculum stays very relevant and that students are eligible to sit for the newest and the best certifications that are available so that they can be more marketable upon their graduation. But particularly this Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity prepares students to be able to defend organizations against evolving digital threats. And we all know right now how important these types of positions are. I can say even for me at Herzing, we are constantly as employees being trained on how to prevent cyber security threats. I'm betting probably anyone that works at any organization on this call today is being constantly trained by your organization, because we're also fearful of some type of cyber threat hacking into our organizations and taking over all of our machines. We see it on TV, but these types of things do actually happen in real life. And so we want to equip students with the tools to combine all of these skills with problem solving, leadership, ethical decision making, and to know and learn and understand how to keep networks secure and manage those risks and respond to cyber incidents should those occur. Our graduates will be ready to step into high demand roles that protect businesses and communities in the digital economy today. And I'll add one of the other things that was very intentionally added to this program are lots of AI concepts to go along with the cybersecurity, because it's becoming more and more and more important that everyone in the workplace understands AI and the use of AI and how it can be helpful, and how to use it and how not to use AI in the workplace. And so that is intertwined all the way through all of our curriculum, actually, but that obviously includes our cybersecurity program. So a little more about cybersecurity, the program outcomes you'll see here in the middle of the screen, but it's understanding networking, operating systems, and cloud environments, being able to apply problem solving to cybersecurity challenges, communicate technical concepts clearly in a professional setting, and using ethical frameworks to guide security decisions. And then just below, you will see some of the career opportunities and the types of job titles that our students are seeking after graduation. I'll just read a couple of them here, but a cybersecurity consultant, a network security engineer, security operations center analyst, IT risk manager, digital forensic specialist. Those are the types of positions that students could expect to be applying for after graduation.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Oh, here we go. Oh, sorry. Would you like to still tackle this one, Anissa, or
Yes.
you're good to go? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm not going to read this slide. There's a lot of words here. So, but these are the IT class, or the cybersecurity classes that are included as part of the program. So the full program is 120 credit hours that are required for graduation. It takes a student about 8 semesters to be able to finish this program. So you'll see it's listed here as 32 months. So that's 8 semesters at about 4 months each. So the core semester courses, which you'll see listed here, are 67 credit hours. And so there are additional courses that are required, like general education courses, some elective courses, professional development courses. But these are the actual cybersecurity courses that you'll see here listed here. Again, I'm not going to read all of these, but you will see that included at the very end is an option to take an internship. So students can either do a cybersecurity capstone project, which is a really big project where they spend the entire semester working on it, that they'll present at the end of the semester, or students have the option to take an internship. Now, most of our international students do select the internship option. It gives them a chance to work in the United States for about 4 months. And we're finding also with many of our students, particularly our master's level students, these internships are turning into full-time positions for them after graduation while they participate in OPT, which is their allowable work experience beyond graduation. And so the internship, I always say, is arguably as valuable or close to being as valuable as the program that they study there itself. You really get to learn a lot. You learn to work in an environment in the United States. You have to apply for a job in the US, which, as many students know or will learn, is very different than applying for a job probably in your home country. And so you'll get to go through that whole process if you participate in an internship and learn about applying for jobs in the United States, working in the US, the norms and working in the US. And that's a really valuable experience for our students.
Thank you very much, Anissa. Well, before we go to the next slide, we've just taken a deep dive into the world of cybersecurity and the incredible opportunities waiting for you in this rapidly growing field. It's really exciting, actually. Now that you got the picture, the possibilities and where this program can take you, the next step is turning that goal into a plan. So, how do you get started? What do you need to prepare? And how does the application process work? To walk you through the admissions requirements and guide you step by step, I'm very happy to pass on the floor to Hannah.
All right, thanks, Keela. All right, guys, so the admission requirements at Herzing is pretty straightforward. The first thing that we require is an application form, which has to be submitted through the GUS Gateway portal. And all it covers is like students, like personal details, their educational history till the current point, and what course that they want to study. And the second thing we require is a valid passport, and preferably not to be expired for at least 6 months during their course of education when they get there. And the English proficiency exam is also pretty straightforward. It's not really hard to attain. We need an IELTS of 5.5 and all of its equivalents and all the other exams, which is relevantly way easier to attain than like lots of other universities. And as Anissa said in the beginning, we do not require an SAT or an ACT, but instead the university sends the Wonderlook exam test, which is sent electronically within like 24 hours after the application. And it's a really good alternative to the SAT or ACT. It's a 3-part exam that students can do online and finish in 15 minutes. And it's a part of our admission requirements that just like covers like generic information like math, problem solving, and like generic, like it's like basically like an IQ test. All students have to do is pass it, and it's way more convenient than booking an SAT or an ACT like in a test center. It's way faster and way more affordable. It's actually like free of charge. Then we got the academic requirements. All we need is your high school diploma, which is like grade 12 for the American curriculum. And for the transcripts, yes, we do accept unofficial transcripts. It's really rare that we're going to ask for an official one for like very specific cases, but yes, unofficial transcripts are accepted. Then we got the certificate of finance that shows who is the student sponsor, and that just like shows that they can like cover their like their living expenses and their tuitions for their course of study. All right. Then on the right here, we got the enrollment document, which is basically the application sign-offs, which is the consumer information, disclosure form, enrollment agreement, and international student statement of understanding. And over here, that just basically like gives students a detailed information about like generic information they have to be aware of before they get on campus, like for example, like the dorms, details upon arrival, what to expect, what not to expect, and so on. And also gives like visa details too. So this here is all included on the GUS gateway again, so that everything is provided for our students. So yeah, basically everything is pretty straightforward.
Thank you so much for that, Hannah. So I hope that that gave everyone a clear roadmap of what to prepare and how to take the next step towards becoming part of the community. So now, once you already know how to apply, the next big question is usually, what about the tuition and are there, scholarships available? I know that most of our students and parents who will be sending their child overseas, think about that. So, planning your education also means understanding the investments and the financial support that can help you make your goals achievable. And to break this down for us, walk us through the tuition fees and scholarships and opportunities, let me call back Nisa.
Sure. So tuition is pretty straightforward. Kyla, is there the breakdown? Does that come in just under this slide or no? I'm sorry. There
There
we
we
go.
go.
Okay.
Yes.
So the tuition you'll see here, we do offer all international students a total of 40,000 US dollars in scholarship across the full program that is delivered and assigned or awarded to a student at $5,000 per semester. And so after those scholarships are awarded, the full tuition for the entire program comes out to around 66,000 US dollars. The tuition, you can almost divide that by 8 semesters, which is the full length of this program, and you would get the per semester rate. With the exception of the first semester that does require an additional fee for, it's called the International Student Orientation Fee. That fee is $700 and paid only in the first semester. And it's because of the very robust onboarding program that we offer to our international students. That is mandatory, and we do a lot to really help students to kind of integrate their self into the U.S., make sure that they know where to go, what to do, how to do it. Those first few months can really be difficult for an international student while they adjust to their new environment, and we do a lot in that program to make sure that students are adjusting well. Every semester there is a learner resource fee that covers the cost and the use of all of their textbooks, technology resources, any and everything that they could use or need while they're part of this program. So with many universities, and I know because I have a daughter that's in college right now, every other week she's coming back. I need this money for this. I need this money for that. Oh, I need to order this book. I need this. I need these lab materials. At Herzing, that won't happen. At Herzing, we actually, it's a all-inclusive tuition. So no matter what you need to be part of the program or to be successful in the program or materials for the program, it's all included 100% in the price of tuition. So, then lastly, I do want to point out that after a student's visa is approved, there is a $5,000 non-refundable tuition deposit that will be applied to that student's first semester of tuition. So it's not a deposit that, you're going to wait until the end of your program to get back or anything like that. It's just you pay the deposit after your visa is approved and it will be applied to your first semester. And then the balance of your first semester tuition is due prior to your departure to the United States. All right, so we are going to shift gears just a little here, and we are going to talk about some graduate programs. Specifically, I think the program that we're going to be talking about is going to be our Master of Business Administration and Business Analytics, because it is undoubtedly our most popular program for international students in graduate study. And you'll see why. And primarily it's because of the STEM extension that students are allowed upon graduation from this program. But this program provides foundational business skills and knowledge for our students. And this is in the areas of accounting, marketing, operations, and leadership. There is a commitment to corporate and social responsibility, lots of data and analytics for data-informed business practices and decision-making, financial analysis, and strategic planning. And again, lots of AI is going to be part of this program as well. And again, we did a lot of we did a lot of program rewrites late last year that all launched earlier this year, that we very intentionally did that, intertwining those AI concepts into our curriculum, because it is just really, really important in today's work environment. Even me, I've been working in the position that I'm in right now. Well, not this position, I've been promoted throughout the years, but I've been here for almost 18 years. And every other week, we're getting new information about AI and how to use it. And so these concepts are so important for students to be sure that they're learning prior to their going into the workplace. All right, so why Herzing's MBA? So I think I have probably said this a few times, but we do offer career-focused curriculum with real-world applications. And again, that AI integration in business operations and leadership is very, very important. This does mention here that the format is on campus. I'm sure you probably all know that all international students that come to the USA are required to study in on-campus classes and have a presence on campus. That is a requirement of an F1 visa. Again, there's no GRE or GMAT that is required for graduation. We have more than 50,000 graduates to date. And this program does directly support industry certifications. And Herzing will actually reimburse you for up to the application fee for 3 certifications once you take and pass those certifications. And that is a real game changer for students. Some of these certifications are really expensive. Some of them up to $300 and $500, and Herzing will reimburse you for those if you take those exams and pass them. Okay, a little more about our MBA. In the center of the screen there, you'll see the program objectives. They are to prioritize the skill set needed to succeed as a business executive. Business outcomes are business analytics, ethical leadership, global perspectives, data-driven decisions, and effective communication. And there are classes that I think we'll see in a minute that correspond to each one of those outcomes. The curriculum that features the AI integration, and then strong learner support with advising, tutoring, and career coaching. And business opportunities or job titles that we may expect that our students would be seeking or have been seeking after graduation from this program would be like a business operations manager, a marketing manager, financial manager, medical and health services supervisor, human resources manager, a business or management consultant, an IT manager, and a management consultant. And one thing that's great about having an MBA is that whatever your undergraduate study is in, as you're learning through your MBA, you can apply those concepts to whatever the field of study that you have had in your previous education. Because if you take a step back and look, every business needs business managers, right? So you can be really knowledgeable in IT, but not have any idea how to manage people. But sometimes people want to move to that next level. If you've been in a position for a while and you've been working in a department for a while and you're doing really well, maybe you want to move to the next level, which is going to require some business management skills and some people management skills and decision-making skills and those things. And an MBA can take you to that next level to learn those things. Yes, and here are the classes that are required for our MBA. This MBA is 33 credit hours, so we'll contrast that in a few minutes to our MBA in Business Analytics, which is very close and very similar in credit hours. This program takes about 16 months, and these are the classes that you would be required to take as part of this program. And I will bring you again to that very last line where you can do either that graduate capstone project, which is that big project that you work on for the full length of the semester and present at the end, or the graduate internship. And again, most of our international students take that internship because it's such a great opportunity for them to learn more about working here in the USA. And as you look through these classes, Take note, because as we look at the MBA in business analytics, you're going to see a lot of the classes are similar, but then a lot of the classes are also different. So about half of the classes are the same for the MBA and the MBA in business analytics. And so, making sure that you're in the right program and that you know exactly which one you think you want to go after would be really important, because the programs are similar, but they are also very different. So. All right, so certifications for the MBA. So I mentioned that Herzing University will reimburse you for up to 3 certifications as part of your MBA. So the certifications specifically that our curriculum aligns to are listed here, and there are actually more of them. This is not an exhaustive list of those certifications. So as students are studying, we encourage them to stay in contact with their academic advisor so that their academic advisor knows kind of the path and what they are looking for and can guide them to certifications that may be applicable to the outcomes that they're looking for when they graduate. So some of those certifications are the Certified Associate in Project Management, a Project Management Professional, Project Management Professional. I'm sorry, that one was a tongue twister. Also, the SHRM Certified Professional, and SHRM is an HR organization in the United States. I believe they may be global, so you guys may be already familiar with that. Or a SHRM Senior Certified Professional. But again, this is not an exhaustive list. I can tell you a lot of our students do go after those project management certifications. And while the curriculum does align and the curriculum will teach you a lot of the concepts that you need, there is some additional study outside of class that is recommended, but those project management certifications are very recognizable in the United States and can really help to boost a resume for a student. All right, now the MBA in business analytics. So this one is this one is probably the most popular program that we offer to international students at Herzing, regardless of graduate or undergraduate. When we started offering this program, in just 2 semesters, this program grew to our largest program because it was so popular. This program has a STEM designated curriculum. And what that means is that when a student graduates from this program, they get to participate in OPT, which all international students can do, and that's for 12 months. But programs that have a STEM designated curriculum, they can apply for an additional 2 years of a STEM extension. And that gives them a total of 3 years of work experience while they are here in the USA after they graduate. So this program has a focus on STEM and a data-driven business environment. And you'll see that very clearly just by the courses that are going to be listed. So still focusing on finance, technology, marketing, engineering, and strategic planning. Still has all of those AI concepts intertwined. Still lots of data analytics, technology-driven leadership and problem solving, and also decision making, and how to make decisions, and using software that helps you to make decisions and analyze data to make the right decisions. So again, that STEM designation gives the degree the allowability to apply for that STEM extension. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics projects, a significantly higher rate of growth in STEM occupations is expected, but up through 2032 in the United States. So higher than average job growth is being predicted by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is kind of, in the US, it's kind of a government ran entity that helps us know, what expected salaries should be, the education that may be required for a particular job, and then also what the expected growth is in that job. Okay, so again, this is going to talk a little bit about the STEM designation, but the STEM designation is a great benefit for international students that seek employment in the US. After graduation, the student may apply for extended work experience in the US, which meaning they get the initial 12 months, And then after that initial 12-month period, they can apply for an additional 24 months for a total of 3 years of work experience here in the US. Some career opportunities for students graduating with an MBA in business analytics are here: the data analytics manager, a business intelligence director, operations research analyst, financial quantitative analyst, analytics product manager, supply chain analytics manager, risk analytics manager, and a management consultant. And lots of data analysis types of positions can be included in this as well. And I would say that most of these positions, you will use the skill of learning to analyze data and business trends that you'll learn from the program. And these are the courses. Again, now this one has 36 credit hours. So the Master of Science and the Master of Business Administration and Business Analytics does have 3 additional credit hours. So the MBA just has 33, the MBA Business Analytics has 36, but the total time frame for graduation is still 16 months. And you can see the classes. Some of the classes, again, about half are the same. The other half of the classes are specific to this business analytics degree program. And you'll also see, again, that students have the opportunity for the internship as part of the curriculum in this program. So here's a comparison side by side. I think I pointed out already that the MBA has 33 credits and the business analytics has 36. Both are going to focus on leadership and strategy, but the MBA in business analytics is also going to focus on data-driven operations and data-driven decision-making. Both of these, again, are in-person, on-campus courses as required for all international students. And the MBA is more tailored to someone who is looking specifically to be a leader. So to be a people manager and a people leader in an organization, that MBA is going to give you all of the skills and the training and the concepts that you need to apply that to your work environment. And the MBA in business analytics is for someone who's quite a bit more savvy in technology and data and analysis of big groups and sections of data. The business analytics MBA may be for you. Again, the OPT extension is allowed for international students in the MBA in business analytics, and both programs do have certification support, and the time frame for both of them is going to be 16 months. I do want to say, I think we might not have put a slide for it, but there are different certifications that are available for the MBA and business analytics. So I do want to share what some of those are. So all of the ones that we mentioned before with the MBA, those could be part of the MBA and business analytics certification opportunities, but then also students could consider the business data analytics certification, the certified associate in certified business analysis professional, and the PMI professional in business analytics, which is another project management certification, but specifically related to business analytics. So this one does open up the certification opportunities to some additional certifications outside of the Master of Business Administration. Now, tuition and fees for the program, they're very similar. Again, these programs they're only 3 credit hours different from one another. And so tuition, in my opinion, with the very small difference in the total cost, should not be a factor in the reason why you choose one over the other. Again, the business analytics, it's going to give you that additional 2 years of work experience allowed in the US, and you would by far make that up in your work experience. We're only talking about, I don't know, $1,900 here being the total difference of the tuition. And if you prefer one over the other, I think you should definitely go with the one that best sits with you. Both of these programs also offer $5,000 per semester scholarship as part of the program. So that comes up to $20,000 of scholarship being given for the full program. And so the tuition is between $23,000 and $25,000 US dollars total overall. And all of the other fees are the same. So still the $700 international student orientation fee in the first semester, the learner resource fee of $555. That's every semester. That covers all your textbooks, resources, everything. It makes this program all inclusive. And then the $5,000 tuition deposit that needs to be paid after the visa approval. So all of that stuff is the same as the program from before.
Yeah, I got a quick question.
Sure.
Do the master students also have to pay like their full tuition before they go on campus, like the undergrads?
No one needs to pay their full tuition before they go on campus. So it would be per semester that their tuition would be paid. So this is just the total tuition. So we're giving everyone kind of the idea of what the tuition would be from start to finish. But you could, like I was saying with the undergrad, you could almost take this one and divide it by 4 and get your total tuition for every semester, with the exception of the $700 fee the first semester that a student's enrolled.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, I think a first semester MBA student, don't quote me exactly, I think the tuition is like $6,700 US dollars for the first semester, and then it's around $6,000 every semester after that.
All right, good. Thanks.
Sure.
All right, guys, and moving on. These are the admission requirements to be accepted into our variety of MBAs and like master programs. So like the undergrads, again, all you have to do is first of all, send your application form through the GUS gateway. That also covers like your personal details, your preferred course, and your educational history. And again, you do need a valid passport. And English proficiency is a bit higher here. All we need is the equivalence of the 6.0 in IELTS and all of the like an equivalence all the other exams. And for the postgraduates, they do not need to take the Wonderlook exam. But for the academic requirements, they need to send in their degrees showing that they graduated with a GPA of 2.7 and above. But in the cases, if they have a 2.3 to 2.7, then they're going to need a good like personal statement or a statement of purpose to back up their application. And of course, we're going to need all transcripts to be translated, including all of their mark sheets and their degree certificate. And the bank statement, or like the certificate of finance that you need to show, like send into the university, has to show $30,000. And again, to our right, we do have the, like basically like the application sign-offs, including like the accreditation disclosure form, the consumer info disclosure form, enrollment agreement, and international student statement of understanding that also preps all the students and gives them like a prior information that they need to know, like it sets the expectations, what to expect, what not to expect before they go on campus. So yeah, if anyone has any questions to do with this, you can drop it in the chat, or it's pretty straightforward.
Thank you very much for that, Hannah. Now, we've gone through the admissions requirements already for the business analytics. We'd love to share the journey of an international student who have been navigating the program and making the most out of the opportunities at Herzing. So let me call on Anissa again for this one.
Sure. So this student his name is Abos. He was from Uzbekistan, I believe. He came to Herzing about 2 years ago. So I believe he's already graduated at this point, because I haven't seen him around campus lately. So I'm thinking he's already graduated. And he came in and did a testimonial for us on just kind of a day that we had for international students to come in and talk to us. And that's where we collected this information from him. He said he was captivated by the support provided by the university, finding the tuition fees to be affordable and feeling at home when he was at Herzing. He received assistance with all the challenges that he faced. And one of his favorite experiences was the International Student Onboarding Seminar, where he got to learn more about Atlanta. And this is the seminar that I mentioned we do for the first 8 weeks of a student's enrollment, where We do everything that we can to try to help a student start to integrate into the US. And so we do things like teach them about why things are the way they are in the US. We do kind of some cultural workshops, talk about US norms. And, we always ask the students, like, what's the most surprising thing that you've seen since you've been here? And that's one of the questions that always brings so much fun conversation, because different students come from different backgrounds and they come into the US and they see all of these things that they think are bizarre that we in the US that we've been here forever, we're just like, that's just normal. Like, it's not anything unique for us. And so we also help students learn about navigating the transit system in Atlanta. So we do have a bus and train system where you can pretty much get anywhere in the city. And so we teach students about that. We take a couple of field trips where we take them to some of the local Atlanta sites. The favorite is the aquarium. We have an aquarium here in Georgia, like in downtown Atlanta, that is the second largest aquarium in the entire world. Sometimes we take them to the World of Coca-Cola Museum. There's a few options. We kind of talk to them and see where they want to go, and we kind of take a census of the class and decide where to go. But we do a lot of work in that seminar to help students navigate fitting in the US. It also gives them a chance to ask questions and check in a little bit more to be sure that they're doing everything that they should. We make sure that we teach them about staying in status in the US. We teach and talk to them about scams and things that can happen in the US if you're not paying attention or if you just believe everything that everyone says. And so we do a lot to teach students how to stay safe, how to navigate, how to get around and do all the things you need to do. And you don't think about it before you come to the US, but something as simple as grocery shopping, can be a challenge when you first come to the US and you don't have a car and the grocery store is a little bit more than down the block. And we teach students all of these things, and they don't really realize those challenges that they're going to face when they first get here. And so we work with them to make sure that they can figure all of those things out and have a plan. So this particular student says that his goals include excelling in his chosen field of study and making the most of the support and resources provided by Herzing University. He is motivated by the comprehensive support system, affordable tuition fees, and the welcoming and inclusive environment. Despite initial misconceptions about the university's program options and the challenges of adjusting to a new environment and culture as an international student, he feels confident and supported in his journey at Herzing. So he was a great student, very successful, and has since graduated from Herzing and moved on. Is probably on OPT right now. I don't get to see students once they're on OPT and they're working. I don't see them anymore. And that it has to be where the student is at this point. So
Thank you very much, Nisa, for sharing Abba's journey. I'm very sure it wasn't easy for Abbas to transition to a different country, of course. But you've all heard how Herzing was able to help him feel more comfortable and belong and figure everything out, because not all schools offer that. So hearing what Herzing has to offer is really encouraging. And we do hope all of you also got encouraged and you would be able to consider and picture yourself in the campus. So his experience really showed the possibilities and opportunities that would await you in the programs. With that inspiration in mind, let's open the floor to our audience. We're moving on to our Q&A portion, so please type in those questions if you have some. And I'm already seeing some of the questions that are available right now. So let's dive deep to it. So the very first one would be, how can international students build professional networks while studying business?
yeah, sure. So I'm actually going to answer a couple of questions that are here in the chat with this, because there's also another question that asks about resume workshops and interview preparation and networking events that are available for international students. So we're going to hit both of these questions at the same time. And so We have a career development department at Herzing that does all of these things with international students. And so you actually could look on our Facebook page now or Instagram page now, and you'll even see some recent networking events that our international students were able to attend. And as part of the full package of our career development department, they offer resume building workshops to help students make their resumes look a little bit more or a lot more like they should look in the US to apply for a position. I can give you an example. I hire international students to work in my office regularly. We have some international student assistants. They do a lot of like administrative work and things like that. And students who I always know who used the career development resources before they applied to the position and who didn't. So the ones who use the career development resources have a resume that looks like a resume typically looks for someone here in the USA. And the ones who don't have a like 10-page resume that they upload to their application. And while that may be common and commonplace practice in some countries, it is absolutely not commonplace practice in the United States. And so anything more than 2 pages is like way, way too long for someone in the United States applying for a position. And so they imagine, like, I know that these are international students and I can be empathetic to the situation because I know that, I know the background. But imagine that student applying to an outside company with that 10-page their application wouldn't even be looked at. And so those are the kinds of things that our career development department will help with. In addition to interview skills, we actually have an AI tool that is part of the toolbox for career development that interviews a student and gives them immediate live feedback to their interview. So it will ask them questions and it will tell them all these things about, their body language, their eye contact. So their response to the question. I mean, it's an amazing tool that we have. So we have lots of tools available for students to learn more about applying for a job in the United States. And then networking events, again, a story that I can tell you, and it's the one that was just recently posted on social media, probably in the last 30 days. Our Atlanta campus took a group of international students out to a networking event. It was like a job fair, basically. And the intent for this group of students was not actually to get them a job because they're not ready to work. You're very limited in the United States in your options to be able to work. She took them out because she just wanted them to practice, practice walking to the tables, practice talking to them, practice, all of these things as it relates so that when you are ready to apply for a job, you're ready, right? You've had some practice. You don't wait until then to practice. They were so fortunate while they were there. They actually got to meet 2 different employers that are now strong connections of Herzing that want to hire our international students and will also support them while they're on OPT and STEM OPT and who knows whatever after that. And so that was 2 connections that our career development department got to make just because she took students to practice. After they talked, they were like, hey, just, give us some feedback. How did they do? They're not actually looking for a job today, but Thank you for talking to them. What do you think? Do you have any feedback, like real live feedback from real live hiring managers to help them through this? And so those are the kinds of things and the resources that we have for students. We want them to be ready to work when they graduate. And those are the kinds of things that really go a long way for students and really teach them real world experience in applying for a job. So I hope that was good in answering those 2 questions.
Oh, of course, it's head on. So thank you so much for that. And it's really nice to know that there are even AI. Wow, I didn't know that. You could do that right now because everything's just going, advanced technology is just booming. So you could really use these tools to leverage your skills and to improve on it. So why not take advantage, right? So it's good to know
Absolutely.
that Herzing has it. So in line with this, actually, it's quite connected. But are alumni involved in mentoring career talks?
Yes, actually. So just about 2 weeks ago, we had three alumni that do, she calls them Alumni Real Talk. Like that's the title of the session. And we invite all students really, but they're always tailored to particular uh, disciplines of study. So the one that we had about 2 weeks ago was specifically related to business. So we had three students that returned. One of them was a double graduate from Herzing, a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology and a Master's of Business Administration. Another was he was from Nepal. The one girl was a Master of Business Administration with a concentration in healthcare management. She was from Tajikistan. And the third one, he was a Master of Business Administration with a concentration in project management, and he is from Serbia. So we had all three of these students together, a full house of students. This is probably also on social media. I haven't looked for it myself, but it's probably there. Full house of students where they kind of talked through their path, going through school, OPT. All three of these students are on H-1B in the US now. And so kind of talked the students through that full process and kind of things they learned in the process, mistakes that they made in the process, things that they wish that they would have done differently, and things that they did to work really well for them. And so I can't say that it's really like mentoring, but it could be mentoring. We obviously have, students who, I'll say particularly this one student from Nepal that came, he graduated from Herzing probably 5 years ago. And we have a student from Nepal that just came this semester and they knew each other.
Oh,
And they didn't
small
know each
world.
other like closely, but they knew each other like distantly through their families. And so I have no question that she's also in the same field of study as him. I have no question that he is going to mentor her through some of her challenges as they come up. But specifically involving alumni, that's how we do it, is through those alumni real talk sessions. And they're really valuable for our students.
It really is. I think one of the things that students, like international students, look for are, people who are having or who had the same experience as them, so that they could, easily learn from it or relate to it. So it's really nice that you have these kinds of opportunities for international students. So going to the next question. I think this one's for yeah, Hannah or Anissa can answer this one. Do you accept 3 years of undergraduate from India for MBA?
We do, yes. So India, Nepal, Bangladesh. I would say we would review and consider 3-year bachelor's degrees from most places. But India, yes, we do accept 3-year bachelors from India. And they don't have to be NAAC grade A accredited in the first division. We don't do all of that. But we do, as long as it's a 3-year bachelor's degree and the student got the required GPA, yes, we will accept that for admission to our MBA program.
It's amazing. Thank you so much for answering that. On to the next question, since we have 3 more minutes. Um, what types of AI related jobs can students pursue after graduation?
Um, you know, I don't know if this is particularly related to the cybersecurity or the MBA, but I guess either way, I actually truly don't know the answer to that question. So I don't want to like give out job titles that I'm not sure. And then
Mm-hmm.
also the next question that I see there too about what tools and software platforms will students learn to use. I'll be honest, I don't know the answers to those questions. I'm not like in the curriculum quite like that. I can see if I can find the answers to those questions and get them out. And maybe I see Sashi asked the last question, and I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
who the person is that asked about the jobs. The one on jobs could probably a quick Google search might be able to help answer that question, or even looking on that Bureau of Labor Statistics website that I mentioned. But as far as the tools and the softwares or platforms, I'm just not in the curriculum like that, so I don't know the answer. I did want to add, though, something I forgot to mention. I don't remember if it was on the slide or not, is that our Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity is also a STEM program. So I talked a lot about STEM while we went through the MBA in Business Analytics. But I didn't mention it as we were talking about the Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity. And that program is also a STEM designated program. So all of those additional months of allowable work experience in the US, that does also apply to that Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity, which again is why it's such a popular program at Herzing, because you get that additional work experience here.
Thank you so much for answering those questions, Anisa. I think we've answered all of them. So before we wrap up, I'd like to ask if you have any, closing words or perhaps any advice or tips for our aspiring international students who are joining us today.
Yeah, so I'll say it's tough out there right now, and we know that at Herzing. And so, we do what we can to work with students, and we work within uni exclusively to help students with their interview skills and learning what to expect when they go to the visa interview. And I think one of the most important things is that students just stay diligent and work through the process, and know I'm going to say more than 50% of students get denied on their first visa interview. And so don't let that first denial deter you from that desired end result of coming to the US to go to school. So almost all students have to go for at least 2 visa interviews before their visa is approved. And while I totally get that that is not the way that we want things to go, unfortunately, it is really truly the way that it is. And so don't let that first denial totally deter you, and stay diligent, and go to that second one, and be prepared, and you'll be less nervous on the second one anyway, because you'll know what to expect, and hopefully we'll get the outcome that we want.
Thank you, Anisa. How about you, Hannah? Any tips or advice for international students who are watching us right now?
Yeah, of course. Well, definitely again with the visa, to not lose hope, to stay persistent, and to honestly not give up, because I get it, especially for here from the Middle East nowadays. We do get a lot of rejections. I get it. But with persistency and to always be prepared. Okay. Like some students do get like the approval by maybe the third or fourth interview. Like it happens. To not get discouraged if it happens the first time or second, it happens. But to show persistency and to be prepared. Like the minute you start applying, to gather as much information as possible, and to like do your research about the university, like why have you chosen this university, what's America like to really prepare themselves early on in the visa procedures, because they like visa officers don't want to hear that you're going to America just for the sake that it's land of opportunities. No, they want to know that you know why you've chosen this university. Okay. And yeah, again, like it is worth it. Herzing University will definitely open lots of career doors for you in both of these fields. So yeah, basically know what you want to study, do your research, and to be prepared. Never lose hope. There's always hope to make it to the States, even nowadays.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Hannah. And that concludes our session for today. A heartfelt thank you to our audience for your participation and interaction throughout this session. Also, of course, a big thank you to our speakers, Anisa and Hannah, for gracing us with your presence today and for sharing this very insightful knowledge that you have. So, if you have further questions about Herzing University, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll be happy to assist you. And we hope you found today's session informative. And we encourage you to consider Herzing University as a valuable option for your academic journey. So we look forward to seeing you on our next webinars. In the meantime, take care and have a great rest of the day. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.